Hello, everyone.
So we thought we'd do a video about our favourite movies from 2021. Yes, and February's nearly over. So,
It's not my fault I ended up in hospital in December.
yes, and everybody was there, but so eventually, yeah. And because we're unusual, we've done a top 12. We're doing a top 12. And because I didn't want on my list to be all Marvel and all musicals, I've taken Marvel movies out of the equation just to give
I
everybody
haven't.
She hasn't. So I've taken Marvel movies out of the equation just to be fair on the other,
I've taken Black Widow out of the equation because that would be really unfair on the other films. Even though the other films were better than Black Widow, but I just love the character so much that I'd probably have like the movie on every spot.
Gambling on. And excuse the glare of our glasses, but we really need our glasses and we can't see without. Anyway, I'm gonna
tease it. Go on.
It's here. So my number 12 is Candyman. When I watch horror films, I do watch horror films, but I only see them once, and then that's it. Mainly forget about them, yes, and don't like to have nightmares. But this Candyman, the new one, it was probably waited out quite a while for, actually. I found it absolutely brilliant. I saw the other one, the original one, years and years ago. Seems like years ago. Yeah, I think this sequel is excellent. So, and your number 12?
Eternal. People are gonna hate me for this, but I don't care. It was brilliant. You can all shut up with your hate. I don't get Marvel fans at all. When they bring out Black Widow, you call it not worth the wait. You call it mediocre because it's about a dead character. I hate that they killed her off. You're not alone on that one. And you hate it because it's just the same old original formula that fits in with phase 2 of Marvel films. But when Eternals, specifically the director, Chloe Zhao, sorry for mispronouncing her name, decides to do something different, you're like, this is not a Marvel film. It's too different. I don't like it. So ungratefully rude and demanding.
I think it's time we have new characters, and we certainly got them here. So,
and there was such good family bonds, family connections. It was a really exciting family drama. I don't really see this as a Marvel action film, and that's really refreshing to me. As a lot of Marvel films are the same formula of, oh, we gotta stop the bad guy, let's punch and beat him up. He's tortured us a bit, he's made us lose a loved one. Same old formula. But this was just different, and I liked it for that.
Yeah. We will do a Marvel video sometime, and we'll talk about more in depth. Number 11 for me, and Melvin's really jealous, is Last Night in Soho.
Why am I not 18 yet?
And the reason why I like this, well, all my life I've been an admirer of Diana Rigg, and this was a good film to end on. I like the actors, I like the music, and I liked it because it was different, because I wouldn't say it was just a horror film. It was like a thriller, and I just thought it was really good. And you're going to have to wait to see it, I'm afraid.
Not fair. I looked it up.
She's really jealous.
Saw the rating, 18, and I'm like, why? Okay.
You're number 11.
Cruella. I love the costumes, and I am so bored of Disney live action remakes. So when Cruella does something very interesting, something new and unique, I absolutely adored it. The twist at the end that she gave away, gave away Perdita and Pong to, you know, which is supposed to be our main characters of the original 100 Dalmatians, Anita and Roger, was just fabulous. And I like how it kind of twisted her into an anti-hero. It was a bit similar to Maleficent, where you could feel the full depth and tragedy of this character. It kind of felt like Emma Stone's audition for Harley Quinn. Really reminded me of Harley Quinn vibes. Now, it is uncertain what they're going to do after this movie because Emma Stone says she was thinking of it as like the origins of a young Glenn Close Cruella. But considering what happened in that end credit scene, I don't really see her going on a villainous path. This woman in Cruella, she's so nice, and although she has her
nice.
although she has her evil tendencies, and although she's still villainous, I don't see her as the puppies type. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. And unlike Maleficent, it does need a sequel. I'm interested.
Number 10 for me, you see, I'm a big musical fan. I've included musicals, but number 10 for me was In the Heights. I was waiting a long time for this as well, and I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think it wasn't as good as Hamilton, and I regard it as a sort of a practice Hamilton, if you get that meaning. Yeah, I see lots of similarities. But yeah, the thing I like about this is the diversity, and New Yorkers love New York. Yeah, and it showed it up really well. Number 10 for you?
Shang-Chi. It was a really visually beautiful Marvel movie, and it's probably the best superhero origin story movie I've ever seen next to Into the Spider-Verse. It told Shang-Chi's story very well. I am a bit annoyed about the mom being used as sacrifice, but I think it works for the overall story. When Wu joins the debate of worst dad in media, and I just very much enjoyed all the characters. I hope to see Shang-Chi's sister again on Disney Plus, maybe a spin-off. And I hope to see Shang-Chi again, most importantly, as he seems like a thrilling addition to the MCU.
Again, a new character, and I'm really looking forward to more. And check out our other video about death and grief in movies in 2021. Number 9 for me is Annette. Again, a musical, but this is way different from anything else. I class it as a rock opera, and they seem to think, oh, I don't like opera, but she hasn't checked this out. I cannot persuade her, but I will tie her to a chair sometime and make her watch it.
Please don't.
I will.
We couldn't get Max to watch Greatest Showman, so you're not going to get me to watch a weird thing with a puppet.
I agree. It might not be Trevor's cup of tea. Might not be.
Puppets are not my taste.
But you gotta watch it to.
No, I don't want to see Adam Rose.
Yeah.
Anyway, my number 9 is Free Guy. I very much enjoyed it. Ryan Reynolds is just a general, really funny guy, and although he plays himself in almost every movie except Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard and Hitman's Bodyguard, he does basically play himself in almost every movie, ignoring those two films.
You can pull it off, though. We don't mind.
He's very good.
Not bored at all.
He just, I think it was an awesome, more funner version of Ready Player One. I think it was Ready Player One, but less depressing and less. So I very much enjoyed it for being uplifting and motivating.
You liked Ready Player One.
I did, but this beats it. It's really fun.
Number 8 for me. Well, I don't know if you can call it a musical or a biopic, but Respect was amazing. I love Aretha Franklin. I think she led an amazing life. The story of her life is amazing. So I think it may have been not 100% correct, And it may have been, there might have been other biopics, but I really do think, what's that mean? I really do think, gonna have to edit that out.
We can't edit that. Sorry guys, the computer turned up a little bit.
I really think that Jennifer Hudson should have had a nomination for an Oscar.
She should have. She was really snubbed at the Oscars.
Really
and I'm surprised about it, since the Oscar likes tokenism and to look like we're not problematic at all. So I'm really surprised they didn't nominate her for a more diverse category, especially considering it was an all-black cast and it was very good.
But all the actors were really good in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. The cast it just didn't make my list, because biopics make me really upset considering these celebrities have gone through trauma. Number 8 for me is Candyman. Higher than 1 for some reason, but
I have seen a lot more films.
I know, but I am really surprised about this one. I didn't expect to enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of horror, but Jordan Peele and Nia DaCosta both slap really hard, and I honestly am enjoying a lot of the horror content Jordan Peele has put out. I haven't seen his first movie, Get Out, but I saw Us and I was traumatized for life. So seeing Candyman really impressed me with the racial commentary, social justice, and just like the really spooky elements and the big twist at the end. I won't spoil the big twist. A lot of reviewers I know have said it's really weak and it doesn't make sense. But I think the twist, although it's sad, is kind of uplifting, and it kind of really relates to things going on right now with say her name, say his name. So yeah.
I really enjoyed it as well. Number 7 for me is King Richard. Yes, I think Will Smith should get an Oscar nomination for this. Don't know if he'll win.
I want Andrew Garfield to win though. Sorry.
Yeah. But I wanted you to see this because I think it had a fantastic story. It had a great message about family life, about having to push yourself to, make success. It was inspirational how the Williams sisters worked, and the whole family. I think the whole family dynamic was absolutely amazing. So I think this is it's a good film for anybody to see, but particularly the young ladies of a certain age. Very inspirational, and it was the sport in it. I like tennis, but the whole sport in the sports movie, yeah, brilliant. Don't get many these days. Yeah, no, so you will. So that's another film you you'll have to see.
Number 7, I'm surprised Mum hasn't included this on her list. Ghostbusters Afterlife. I really enjoyed it, and I admit I loved the female Ghostbusters reboot, but I loved this a lot more, as it felt like a tribute to the original 4 and a tribute to say goodbye to the actor that played Eon Spangler. It was just so emotional, and I loved seeing the next generation of Ghostbusters. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing a few more spin-off movies with the Ghostbusters grandkids, creating a next generation movie. And we may never see the Spangler family again, but I could like to have these spin-off movies, and then they all reunite. Spangler, each group of families from the original 4 Ghostbusters, because it was just so well done. And again, I support MCU actors when they're not in other stuff, because I think when they're in other stuff, it's really important to not let MCU actors be defined by a role. I really enjoyed Paul Rudd in his comedy. I really enjoyed Grace, McKenna Grace. She just had brilliant energy as a lead, and she stole the whole show. Never mind the original Ghostbusters. She's shone.
Yeah, McKenna Grace was somebody I've been looking at for years now. And sometimes she just has like cameo bits, and sometimes
But
sometimes she
she
takes a lead.
really got to shine this
Yeah.
time.
So yeah, lots of looking forward to seeing what she can do next. Number 6 for me was Cruella. We've talked about this before. I'm wanting more. I'm sorry, I don't want this to be just a one-off film. I'm wanting more. So I just want it to shoot off to another direction. And some reboots work, and some don't, but this certainly does. And yeah, I want more.
Number 6 for me, Suicide Squad. Mum did not want me seeing this movie. She did everything to say, it's a bit too bloody and gory. I don't think Mel wants to see it. Please don't take Mel to see this movie. And I just defied Mum like heck because I was really interested.
Such a rebel.
James Gunn is one of my favorite directors, as he has directed one of my favorite franchises of team-up films, Guardians of the Galaxy, even though the Russo brothers ruined that, especially the character of Star-Lord. I very much love his tone of writing, his style, and I think he deserves a lot of praise for saving DC. As DC is at its best when it splits its content off and it's not a connected universe. And I didn't even think it was a sequel to the original Suicide Squad, which I didn't like that much. I thought it was a reboot. And you know what? It actually lived up to its name of Suicide Squad. I won't spoil who dies, but the character death really, really got me emotional. And I'm so angry we can't watch Peacemaker!
I think we can assume that yes, some people did die in the film. Probably about 100, but yes. Number 5 for me is A Quiet Place 2. I saw the first one and I loved it, and because the cinema experience was spoilt a little bit by some noisy people in the cinema when the film's called A Quiet Place, but I really wanted to see this, and I took my other members of the family with me this time, and they really enjoyed it too. So I'm glad they liked it, and they want more. Love John Krasinski and the whole family, and I'm a bit worried because he says, "Oh, he's not going to make any more. Somebody else is going to take over," because it just won't be the same.
It's confirmed there's going to be a spin-off with a new director, and then I think a new director's doing Quiet Place 3 in 2025, which is really depressing and disappointing. John Krasinski is the only man I trust with proper deaf representation at this point.
I'll still see it, but yeah, I just didn't want it to end this way. So we'll see. I'll give it a chance, but yeah, it's a really good film, and I really enjoyed it.
Number 5 for me is No Time to Die. Now, it was spoiled by the James Bond will return at the end, but overall, this is my first James Bond film in cinema, and because I'm old enough to watch it now, and I loved it. I adored the stakes. The stakes were really high. I loved the tense thrill action sequences. I loved that he had a daughter. Spoilers, that was so cute. And I just think it had such great impact when he had to sacrifice himself. My only nitpick is people have said the movie is let down by the villain being a bit generic, but I don't think it's that Freddie Mercury's villain was generic. I think that there was not enough of him.
Freddie Mercury.
Yes, the actor who played Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury does not appear in this film.
So, Rami Malek, I think he needed to be in it more instead of just not have him around. I really hate it when, this is a nitpick in Black Widow too, with Dreykov. I really hate it when the villains don't appear enough to show that they're a threat and what they're all about. And that's what made it. It broke the stakes for me a little. But apart from that, I really loved this film. And I think it deserves a lot of praise. It's probably one of the best James Bond films ever, even though I haven't seen the other ones. It's just ruined by the James Bond will return after he got blown up and poisoned. And I'm like, no, please don't give me more James Bond. I want to see a spin-off with his daughter, age her up a like massive lot, and then we can have, her.
We'll see.
But if Idris Elba's the next James Bond, I'll
no,
take
definitely,
it.
yeah. Number 4 for me is Free Guy. You like this film, but I put it higher on my list because, through everything that happened the last 2 years, I just want to laugh. And my tastes have changed. Before I used to like drama, I used to like good acting and everything like this, and it had to have a message, I appreciated them. But now I just think, it's depressing, and I would just want some escapism. And this certainly was escapism, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Number 4 for me is Raya and the Last Dragon. I mentioned in the Grief in Movies video that I felt really called out by this movie because it's about trust issues and putting your faith in others after tragedy, and I could really relate to the message, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Does it rip off Avatar: The Last Airbender? Yes, but
I've not seen that.
Neither have I. But it's really good.
How can you say then it rips it off?
Because everyone knows one day the Fire Nation attacked and ruined the harmony and peace between the tribes. So, yeah, I think it's quite similar, but apart from that, I do think it's really good. This is the one Disney movie I don't want a sequel, as it left us on a pretty powerful message, and I don't want to lose the impact of that by a sequel.
Number 3 for me was No Time to Die. James Bond has been around all my life, and I've watched them on TV. I've started to watch them in the Daniel Craig era at the cinema. It's always better at the cinema, I say. I used to like Pierce Brosnan as well. But the reason why I like these James Bond movies is that Daniel Craig put more meat on the bones of the character. He made it more human, and he was more respectful for women. And in the end,
apart from the train,
yeah, he broke up with his girlfriend in a really bad way. But he made friends, and he was more likable for me. And yeah, that's what. So yeah, we'll check out the other films.
Number 3 for me is A Quiet Place 2. Apart from the representation, I just love everything about this horror franchise, like especially knowing how high the stakes are, knowing that the monster can hear your every step is such a cool concept. I would probably die in like the first minute, but like I just love this horror world and I want to see more of it, but I'm really angry at John Krasinski for not coming back. I think you keep leaving us on these cliffhangers. It is so unfair. The visuals and everything, plot, characters, it's just such a well-developed world. And without John Krasinski, it's all gonna fall to pieces.
You've got to respect his opinion, his wishes, his life, but I don't want him to.
John, why?
We'll see. I will watch him, but I won't pass judgment until then. Number 2 for me is West Side Story. Yeah, this has been around all my life, and it's an old musical, but given a new lease of life with a fantastic cast, better script, better representation, and I just love it. It really made me more emotional, and I think I'm hoping that it'll win some Oscars. I'm hoping it's going to win some Oscars. I want Ariana DeBose to win. It's interesting that Rita Manero won it for playing the same character 60 years ago. So I would really like it to win this, for Ariana DeBose to win this time as well. Don't know if she will. But I also wanted Rita Manero to be nominated as well because she has a brilliant part in this. She plays a new character, and she did. Considering she's nearly 90 years old, I think she did an excellent job, and I just want to give her a cuddle. She's brilliant, so I just love it. I just love it. It made me more emotional. I love the songs, even though it's quite depressing. It still got me coming out of the cinema singing away, and yeah, I love it. So, considering people think that we're the same, we don't have all the same tastes, but guess what? Both our number ones coming on top.
We haven't talked about my number two.
Oh, no, we haven't.
How dare you?
Beg your pardon. I was purposely trying to avoid it because I'm fed up of talking about it.
My number two is No Way Home. I absolutely loved it. Now, before I rant, huge spoiler warning, get off now because I'm about to give some huge spoilers. It's just a film that culminates 3 generations of Spider-Man. And although I have only been here for 2, Andrew and Tom. Sorry, Toby, I was this when you were around. I really, 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 really loved it, and I just thought the cinematography, the plot, the characters, everyone acted so well in this movie. They all deserved Oscars, and the plot and every single thing about it was brilliant. I do have a nitpick. I hate the spell, the final one casted, especially since it's now pointless considering the multiverse broke anyway. Multiverse of madness. So, yeah, I'm still angry about the spell. And I'm angry they left us on that cliffhanger. So I do want to know what happens next. But my prediction for the Spider-Man College trilogy is that he's gonna die in this third movie in the College trilogy.
We don't even know if he's going to make any more yet. It's not been confirmed.
It was confirmed by Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige. Tom just says he's taking a break before he does it. So I think in Spider-Man 4 he's going to befriend Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. And then they're going to become the new Spider People. As Tom said, I want to pass the baton on to the next guy or gal.
Can you imagine somebody who's really into Spider-Man? I mean, likes it.
I am absolutely obsessed, and I have been since I was like 4 or 5.
And I get really worried because you've got a thing for Spider-Man, and having 3 on screen just as well. Yeah, can you imagine? So it's going to make her blush.
You saw what happened when Into the Spider-Verse happened. That was even worse. Yeah. At least it was only 3 this time.
But you see, Into the Spider-Verse is just, yeah, brilliant animation. But I think the real fella's there.
That was it.
And I just love Andrew Garfield in this.
He was amazing. You're making me blush.
You know,
he was amazing. Yeah,
so,
they all.
You know Andrew Garfield. And may I add, if Tick Tick Boom, if I'd have seen it at the cinema, it would have been in my top 12. It would be way up high.
Okay, so now can we do number 1?
Now we will. Sorry, I got carried away. So, both our number 1 films are
Encanto! I just loved it, and although I love No Way Home and Spider-Man has been part of my childhood, I really loved Encanto for the representation. It was the first time, not ethnicity, but I saw myself on screen with Mirabelle. Brown skin, glasses, it was amazing. And I loved the plot, the characters, the development, and the message of generational trauma. We're kind of okay with our family trauma-ish, but I still think it had great messages to teach families, and it was just the songs as well. Next to Moana, these are some of the best songs Lynn written.
I just find it amazing that all people around the world can relate themselves to the characters and, oh yes, I'm like Louisa and I'm like this little boy and I'm like this little girl, and yeah, just amazing. People really taking it on board. The story is fantastic. The animation is amazing. You can see the grains of sand even on this. The technology is amazing. So yeah, and it's just the soundtrack is fantastic. I'm debating whether I like this or, Hamilton. It's just a tough call. So me personally, I want to shout out to Lin-Manuel Miranda because I think he really is a force to be reckoned with. I'm looking forward to the things he's going to do in the future. I think he's, now that Stephen Sondheim has sadly passed, I think he's the next generation of writers to.
I'm one too.
So let's see what we can do. But this has been a fantastic year for him. I've liked everything that he's done this year. We even watched Vivo on Netflix the other day.
Please don't make fun of me.
So exactly, and other things I want to shout out. Pastor Stephen Sondheim, I'm gonna really miss him. Diana Rigg, I'm really gonna miss. We lost some great people lately in the film world. But there's going to be up and coming talent. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds, for just making me laugh. I just really needed it.
I need it too.
I enjoyed Red Notice and Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard as well. I love those films as well. But sorry it didn't make it in my top 12. It's just I did see quite a lot of films. Particularly when all the cinemas were closing and when they opened up again, I thought I made up for lost time.
You definitely did.
And a shout out to June. I saw the original 80s film. I remember seeing it back then, and I thought, ooh. But I'll try watching it again, and I felt double. Ooh, it was terrible. I'm sorry.
You didn't like the Renew Dune?
The old Doom.
The
original
Dune.
Doom.
Yeah.
I thought it was just terrible. So that was a good save. This was definitely a remake that needed to be remade. Definitely. Nobody can argue about that, and I think they did a really good job. Next one, looking forward to it, even though I know what happens. Looking forward to watching it. I hope we get to make it soon, and I hope there's more Zendaya in it, because she's great as well.
She's a queen. She deserved a supporting actress, or at least an actress Best Actress nomination for No Way Home.
Keep going back to that film.
Sorry.
So yeah, so looking forward to the things in this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, and keep on. I don't know, a bit worrying about price rises and if things are going to stay open. I love the streaming things that we've seen, but I still love the cinema, and we'll talk about that up and coming this year.
All right, so I've got to go to a meeting now. This is real life, but. So we better close things up. So thank you so much for watching.
Check out our other videos.
And we will see you later. Bye!
Bye!